there have been some terms of service updates from the back end of Niantic for Pokemon Go, and I think that we need to have a discussion about these. I've seen multiple people make videos about it, but now it's time to get into the details. So welcome to the Trainer Club. Here we go. So the terms of service in any game are something that you, in order to play that game, will have to sign, right? You're basically saying, I acknowledge what they are stating here, and this is a guideline and something that they try to withhold, that if there was ever anything to happen in their game, that you would not be able to, quote unquote, hold a lawsuit. However, with that said, I believe that if somebody has enough time, money, energy, and know-how, that these things, although yes, you might have signed the terms of service, and if something did end up happening, if it was clearly unjust, I believe that in a court of law, it would still be able to be overturned. So with that said, we're now gonna go over a couple things that I've seen in here that I'm really not the biggest fan of, and some of the bullet points that the person has put together. I have not personally read this, because it's a lot to read through. Okay, so shout out to whoever has read through all of this. Doc Decoder is gonna be where we're getting it from. So here we go. Number one, your account can be terminated at any time without notice if you breach the terms. So, there's a lot of terms that go along with playing Pokemon Go. And while most of them are pretty self-explanatory, you know, some people have chosen to do certain things in the past, and I don't know exactly what the situations are, but if you have a situation where your account gets banned, it seems as if they can just do that for no reason without any notice on that situation. So while this seems like an okay thing if you're clearly breaking the rules, some of those rules that are a little blurrier seem to be something that probably you won't have anything going on with, okay? So the number one thing that we're talking about is definitely spoofing, botting, and other things like that. So these situations, I can understand why they would want this in there. However, I still believe that, you know, having the 3-strike policy is the way to go, because why would that not be the situation? You know, maybe somebody learned about this situation from somebody else, and, you know, it's always good to give somebody a warning before a ban happens. So hopefully they still have that policy intact, and that there's not going to be just bans happening unless you, for your entire time, have been doing stuff that is way off the wall. I mean, Pokemon Go in general is made to be an exploratory game, right? So I understand where they come from here, and I also understand why people break the rules to be able to play it a certain way as well. So I see both sides of the stories, and to be honest with you, it's kind of a situation that it just has to be what it is. You make that decision, they clearly line out the rules, and if you overstep that decision, then that's just what happens. And then the next one is you waive your right to participate in any type of class action lawsuit, which, once again, if there's something that kind of steps over the bounds of something that is, you know, legal or makes sense, this is a situation that I think, once again, could get overturned. And this one is something that you guys must know. There is no refunds for virtual goods or virtual money once purchased, okay? So they usually say that in all of their disclaimers, but once you purchase something, you cannot get a refund for it. So please make sure to spend your money wisely in this game. And then the next thing is Niantic can deploy anti-cheating matters to check your device to make sure that there's no cheating going on in your account. So that would mean that you are giving Niantic access to look through your phone to see what is in there, right? So if you have the apps, if you have whatever, this is going to be a big thing for them to be able to go ahead and detect these type of devices. So for me personally, I've kind of known, I feel like they've always kind of done this, because I don't know how else they would know. I get, you know, jumping from location to location, but this is something that is now stated in their terms, and that they're checking your device for these anti-cheating. And I don't know if they actually say anything more beyond just that. They're looking for that, but they do have access to your phone, which would mean they can check all of your apps as well to be able to see if you have that specific app on your phone. So that's why, please make sure if you buy a used phone or whatever that situation is, that you do not ever load your account on a phone that was not wiped to begin with, because if it is a phone that was previously used for that, and even if you don't do that and that app is on that phone, it's something that you should definitely check out for. The next one is Niantic is not liable for any damages or losses resulted from the use of the services. And I would think that that would be the means of Pokemon Go, such as you go to an event and it's rained out or whatever that situation is. I think this is kind of trying to cover that type of event situation. The next one is Niantic can change or remove virtual money or virtual goods at any time without liability. Okay, so that one is a little bit over the line for me. So can change at any time without any liability, which means they could go into your account and take away your money. I guess they could change how much you have or whatever that situation is. That one doesn't really sit too well with me, because if it's something that's in your account, why would they go ahead and change that unless you got it by means of, you know, illegitimacy? So in that situation, I understand, and it doesn't seem like, you know, these points are not the best, but at the same time, I don't believe that Niantic is doing this so that they can have some type of dark motive behind a lot of this. But they want to make sure that their game is a purist game to the most that they can, and this is why it seems like they do update these sometimes. So Niantic can use your likeness and data for promotional purposes without compensation. And what I mean by that is, let's say they wanted to use your account. I guess they could probably do that. They could probably use your person, your pictures when you're at GoFest, whatever that is. You do not have to be compensated for those situations. Niantic is not responsible for third-party websites or resources linked through the services. So I don't really know exactly what they're saying by that, but it seems like as if they have an advertisement and something happens with that advertiser, they're not responsible for that. That's kind of what I'm reading there. In the next one, you assume all risks associated with attending or participating in events, meaning let's say that you go to an event and it's way too hot like New York City and you get heat stroke. You can't sue them because of the event that you had, because you are, by going to that event, taking responsibility that you are going to take care of yourself, that you're going to be putting yourself in the right situation to be able to do so. Just because you're going to an event doesn't mean Niantic has okayed that entire event, that it's going to be suitable for your health. So in that situation, please make sure to take precaution if you need to during those events, because they definitely do get hot. And Niantic can change features or cancel events without compensation. So if they cancel an event that seems like you are going to go to, they don't have to compensate you for that. So I would assume that that doesn't mean that they're not going to give you the refund if they canceled an event, but what that means is they're not going to refund your travel or compensate you outside of that situation. And then Niantic can employ security measures and searches at events, and refusal may result in denied entry. So for me, I mean, this one doesn't seem all that bad. I know they marked it as something negative, but you know, being able to make sure that everybody in the event is safe, and if you had something that wasn't safe, to not allow you into the event. I mean, it seems like something there. If that goes into a different situation, obviously we'd have a problem there, but this one seems like something that is relatively safe. Niantic can terminate inactive accounts after a period of inactivity. So this one, it seems to be that it is more based on server bandwidth and being able to save information. So I would pass this specific one on to friends that haven't played in a while to make sure that they go and log into their account at least once a month to keep up that it at least been in an active account. You don't want somebody that's like, oh, I haven't played in 2 years, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go log into my account, and boom, it's not there anymore. Well, that would be super unfortunate for that situation to happen. So please make sure, even if you choose to stop playing and maybe at some point you will come back, at least log in once a month at a bare minimum. I would say a little bit sooner than that, to make sure that your account doesn't get terminated for inactivity. And then Niantic can use your data for emergency notifications and public event leaderboards. Okay, so that seems more like PvP type stuff. Then we're going to go to Niantic is not liable for damages resulting from third-party services affecting your use of service. Once again, I don't really know what that one is. That one might be something like Gacha or an auto catcher, where they're saying that if you use that and damages occur, that they're not responsible for it. Niantic can use your feedback and analytic data during your beta programs without compensation. So if you are participating in some type of beta program, like they launch in Australia, they have the new Dynamax, that's something that, you know, they don't really have to compensate you for. And I mean, that's fair. It's their game. It's something that they've created. So I totally understand that situation. Niantic can change or remove any virtual money or virtual goods without liability. I feel like we already covered that. Niantic can use your data for demonstration, promotion, and advertising of services. So they would be able to use your data, regardless of how they pull that data and how they compile that data, to be able to do so. So that one doesn't seem like a huge deal, but the data collection can be, you know, maybe more than you'd be wanting to share. And then Niantic can terminate your account for suspected fraud, cheating, or misuse of content or services. So that is another one, guys, that if you choose to do some type of GPS spoofing, any type of things like that, modifications, please note that they have the ability to terminate your account. And I am going to warn you that even if you were a legit player at one point and your account gets terminated, you're not going to get your money back. All of that hard work that you have earned in your gameplay over time will no longer be there. And so that's one of those situations where it's always held me back from even ever considering doing something like that. And that's, I would never want to lose all of my hard work. You know, does some of those situations seem like they would be fun? Yeah, they do seem like they'd be fun. Would it be cool to have really OP, insane stuff? Sure. But then the reality comes into place for myself and it says, am I willing to lose everything I've done here to gain that? And the answer to that is no, because I also like to play the game. It's part of my life. I enjoy it. So I'm not willing to lose out on something like that personally. But that is ultimately up to you, but I just want to make sure that we cover that information. So Niantic can modify terms at any time, and continued use implies acceptance of the change. So that means if you are just using the game, that means that you have accepted the change. And do they have to update you on that? I mean, it seems like they do update with big updates, but at the same time, you know, I don't really know. You must use your services at your own risk and be aware of your surroundings. That goes without saying. Certain country-specific terms apply and which may affect your rights and obligations. So that would assume something like China would have that type of effect on somebody. You must comply with all applicable laws and event policies while using the services. So you can't go and do something that is going to break the rules of a situation, even though there's an event going on. That would really not fly. You must create an account to use certain services and are responsible for all activities under your account. Niantic provided a limited, non-exclusive license to the apps and services. You must use the services in a safe and appropriate manner, avoiding any unlawful or inappropriate content. Goes without saying, you must provide accurate information when registering for events or purchasing tickets. So they're saying that you guys need to provide accurate information, which makes sense, so that they can keep track and make sure that if something did happen to that ticket, that they would be able to track that for you, because if it's not accurate, how are they going to track that? So you must not use the services for commercial purposes without permission. Okay, I understand that, and I don't believe that's for content creators. I believe that's more like you're going to create a commercial for a game and you're using theirs to gain yourself monetary gains. You must use supported device and internet connection to access services. You must not share your account password and must notify Niantic of any authorized use. So do not share your password, and if something is happening that's unauthorized, you must notify Niantic immediately. And you must not engage in an activity that results in death, injury, property damage, or liability. You must comply with all health and safety policies at events. You must not use unauthorized software or techniques to alter or falsify your device's location. You must not collect or share personally identifiable information of others users without permission. So please do not share the information of others without permission. You must not reverse engineer, decompile, or disassemble the apps or services. So you're not supposed to reverse engineer to break down and then reconstruct something to be able to compile it. You must not use the services to violate any applicable law or regulation. You must not use the services to harass, threaten, or violate the legal rights of others, so please don't do that. And you must not use the services to gain unauthorized access to any property or location, so please make sure to stay up in that. And there's a couple of green ones here. You can opt out of this arbitration agreement within 30 days. So if you guys want to do that, please make sure to send an email to Niantic. Parents can monitor their child's online activity and use services through the Niantic Kids Parent Portal, which seems like a good thing. You can terminate your account at any time through the app help centers. So if you want to delete your account, you can. Niantic respects intelligent property rights and complies with the DMCA process. And you can submit feedback and suggestions to Niantic while they may use to improve your services. And so for the data collection, personal information, name, email, etc., they can take your location data, your device information, your usage data, your interaction data with others, event participation data, purchase history, feedback, and suggestions. And the main things to watch out for is your account could be terminated at any time for any reason without notice. And so man, that's so weird that they can do that, but I don't know, man, it is what it is. But just, you know, make sure that you're doing the right things out there, guys. You waive your right to participate in any class action lawsuit. No refunds for virtual goods. Niantic can use your data for promotional purposes without compensation, and Niantic can change or remove virtual money or virtual goods at any time without liability. So there's a lot of things in here for you guys to consider. Please make sure to act appropriately with your game. And if you are pursuing Pokemon Go in an integrity standpoint, it doesn't seem like you'll have too much of information here. The only thing that you might find a little bit off-putting is the fact that they can use your data and information for advertising and for other things, and who knows what beyond that means for them, because I guess they don't necessarily have to disclose it if they're going to consider something for advertising. So let me know what you guys think. Is this something good, bad? Do you guys find this indifferent? What is it in the comments? I appreciate you guys as always. To all of my likers, commenters, subscribers, Patreon members, everybody takes your support, subscription, participation to X level. I'll see you guys out on the next video. Peace.
I want to take this time to thank everybody who supports me in every facet. It means the world to me, and an extra special thank you to all my Patreons. I greatly appreciate the extra support to continue to allow me to pursue Pokemon Go full time, allowing me to create my daily video uploads in the most timely fashion for everyone's benefit. Plus, I get the amazing experience of sharing my creative processes behind the scenes and raiding all around the globe with select upper tiers. Thank you everybody for being a part of the Trainer Club. You all mean the absolute world to me, and I will see you guys out on the next video.